This is a Saberforge ASP lightsaber hilt, and I'm naming it Smoldering Vengeance. So, Saberforge ASP lightsabers, they don't come with a name. They're just kind of, well, the ASP, it stands for Adaptive Saber Parts, and that's a system by Saberforge where you get to basically build your own lightsaber. So you get to pick from different emitter sections, switch sections, body sections, and pommel sections, and then you kind of assemble it all together in your own lightsaber. So that means, you know, maybe not too many people have the same combination that you do, which is kind of neat. So anyway, I'm calling this Smoldering Vengeance. It's smoldering to me because it's got this kind of smoky coloring to it. It's a bit of a lighter, you know, smoky color and a bit of a darker smoky color throughout. And then Vengeance is after the name of the body section. So the body section, well, it's the Vengeance body. So Saberforge has a Vengeance lightsaber. And so anyway, I just thought I'd call it Smoldering Vengeance. So it's kind of named after the color and then the fact that it has the Vengeance body. So now let's get to the hilt. Well, you know, first of all, this is a bit of a shorter hilt. Now, it's about 10.25 inches long, so it's almost a Shoto type of hilt, a little bit shortened, but there's a lot of cool features to this hilt. Now, in the emitter section, we've got the blade holder here. It's got these little pinholes in the emitter, and then we've got this shroud around it, and it's got this kind of groove right here. And then we've got a taller section to the shroud at this part of the hilt, and then it's a little bit shorter in the front, or, well, I guess they're both to the side because this is the front. But at any rate, below that we have a little bit of a taper. It's kind of, you know, you could maybe use it to spin and or for, you know, some type of control with the hilt. And yeah, so that's kind of a look at the emitter, which is the 10 emitter in the ASP parts section. Below that we have the switch section. So this is an 8 switch, and this is the same switch that's used on the Ares lightsaber, if you want to look for that. And there's some pretty neat features to this. So first of all, we have this kind of raised section around the switches, and so it kind of guards the switch. So it's also kind of stadium shaped. And then around the switch section, we have these indentations, and they're also kind of the same stadium shape. And the coloring in those sections is a bit darker. Now below that we have the body of the hilt. So the body of the hilt is the, you know, longest section of the hilt, and it has these really cool grips on it. So this is the Vengeance body, as I said before, and it's got the classic look of the T-track grips, and the T-track grips are low profile. They're a little bit shorter, and they're also a bit rounded off. And they're made of metal rather than plastic or rubber or, you know, other materials that, you know, some companies will use to make these grips. So that's different as well. And it's got, you know, they're all attached to the hilt here. And I think there's 7 of them. So yeah, that's kind of a look at the body. Very simple. And then we've got the cover tech wheel at the bottom of the body as well. And then finally, when we get to the pommel, so this is a super, super low profile pommel. It's just very, very thin. Here it is. This is the Jade Fire pommel, and it's got this very subtle step to it and a bevel, and then these sound holes or sound vents on the bottom. So that's basically it, you guys. This is an ASP hilt, so all of these pieces, or all 4 of these sections, come apart. I can demo that just because. Now these switches also, I don't believe are from Saberforge. Those red switches. And you can see this is an empty hilt. Alright, so there it is. Let's put it back together. Pretty easy to take it apart like that. But I do like this color for the powder coating throughout the hilt as well, or well, there's several colors to it. It's kind of very dark, very ominous, which is why I gave it kind of an ominous name. So this has been a look at a Saberforge ASP lightsaber, and I decided to call it Smoldering Vengeance. So here it is, you guys. Feel free to comment below.